Salam, namaste, sat sri akal, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching from, a good day to you. This is our podcast, Chaii and Charcha, powered by Chaiiwala. Today, guys, I'm joined by one of Pakistan's most recognizable and versatile stars, Hamza Ali Abbasi. I'm sure you've heard of the name. Over the years, he has captivated audiences with powerful performances in dramas like Pyare Afzal and Man Mayal, and most recently on the big screen with the record-breaking blockbuster The Legend of Mola Jat. But Hamza is more than just an actor and director. He's a voice in Pakistan's cultural conversation. Beyond the screen, Hamza is also committed to giving back. He actively supports charitable causes, including his work with the AlMarah Foundation orphanage, alongside its founder, Mrs. Safia Wariach. Today, we'll be talking not only about his career in film and television, but also about his philanthropy, culture, and the strong women who have shaped his life. So, Mr. Hamza Ali Abbasi, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
How has your journey been? How's your flight been to the UK?
It's been amazing. We've spent quite a lot of time in London before this. We've had amazing interactions with people there. And now we're in Bradford, and the whole community here came out in support of AlMarah Foundation. That's why I'm here. So it's been so far a very, very good trip.
Brilliant. That's exactly what we're going to talk about. So you're here for a very special reason, which is the AlMarah Foundation. Tell us about how you decided to join the foundation and be a part of it.
Well, I stumbled upon them on YouTube, I think 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And I was just taken aback by how they treat the children that are under their care. Because children are not just people that need to be fed and educated. They're also emotional beings. They're psychological beings. And what sets these guys apart from every other institution, who are doing great work with all sincerity, but what sets them apart is that they give them that emotional care, that psychological care that these children desperately need. And I was taken aback by the fact that how happy these children were, how vibrant they were so full of life. And that made me really interested that, wow, okay, they don't look like deprived children. They were having a very good lifestyle, probably the kind of lifestyle that not many can afford in Pakistan. More than 250 children, that's a big deal. So watching that really made me interested in trying to know what they're all about. So got in touch with them, went to these places, these homes myself, sometimes announced, sometimes unannounced. And that's what I found on ground as well, that they're getting the kind of care that real loving parents would give to their children. And that's what made me attach myself so passionately to this cause. And that's why I promote this cause, because I believe that the children there are getting the care that they deserve. And it's not just 250 children, it's 250 stories. And each one of them has a very tragic story behind them. So watching that transition, I've seen it myself, how some kids came in, and because of the tragic stories behind them, when they came in, their eyes were soulless. They were going through PTSD, some of them. Very dull, very scared, no confidence. And then I myself saw within 3 to 4 months how they transitioned to becoming these vibrant children full of confidence, going to play hockey in the evenings, studying in the best schools, taking them as their parents. I've seen Mehboob Bhai and Sophia Bhen, when they go to these homes, they regularly visit every day. These children swarm around them, they hug them, and they're talking to them exactly how a child would talk to an extremely loving parent. They have that ownership that a child needs to grow up into a stable, prosperous individual. And then the future plans they have for them. That's also something that draws me to this cause, because usually I always quote something that one of the very good friends of Mehboob Bhai, initially when they started this organization, he said, okay, now you have these kids, what do you plan for them in future? And he suggested, in all his sincerity, he suggested that, it'll be good if you give them some kind of vocational training. Somebody can be a mechanic, somebody can be a tailor. And I remember his answer, and that really shook me. He was like, "Sir, you're my friend for such a long time. Is this the kind of future you also imagine for your own children? You don't, right? You want them to, not that these jobs are bad jobs, but you know what I'm saying. It's like for your own children, you imagine them becoming doctors and engineers and going to the army or the police. So why would you say that about my children? These are not 250 plus orphans. These are 250 plus my own children. And I want them to have those career opportunities which any child of this strata would have." So that's also something that drew me, that they're not just securing their present, but they're also securing a magnificent future for these children, which otherwise, if these guys were not there, those children would have suffered a horrific fate in Pakistan that many orphans do, especially who are from very troubled backgrounds and very deprived backgrounds. So yeah, these are some things which really made me feel very passionate about this cause, and I hold it very close to my heart.
Amazing. No, and we heard from Sophia G and Mahmood Bai earlier, and like you also alluded to, that you visited unannounced sometimes, many times. And when you did visit unannounced, what did you experience? What did you see?
Again, I saw those children being taken care of with the highest standards possible. The environment they're in, it's not an institution, it's a home. The staff there, the children themselves, that's the kind of care which I believe is very seldomly seen even in the developed countries. That's the kind of standard of care that they're receiving. And when I go unannounced, that's exactly what I find. Very confident, happy children, very content with their life. And they know they have parents, because one child narrates an incident where he was in school, and they go to the best schools in Lahore. So one child asked him that, what does your father do? And the child replied very arrogantly, in a way, my father is a DIG in police. So that's the kind of ownership that they have. And that's what happens when I go there unannounced. They're like, "Oh, so, Papa sent you, Mama sent you. Okay, Papa is going to come at night. So, yeah." So it's literally like I'm talking to their own kids. These are not orphans. Yeah. And so that's what I found every single time I went there. Same standard of care, happy, confident children who are extremely hopeful about their futures. Not just hopeful, they're very excited about their futures. About their futures, a very distinctive thing that they have done, that in those homes, very good homes, aesthetically very good homes, they feel like homes. What they have done is that they have asked each child, because whenever a child comes to them, they have a psychiatrist who works on them, because they often have severe mental issues when they come, because the tragedies that they've seen. But then they also have career counselors who gradually, shape them into a mindset that what do you want to be in future, and then they can decide. So let's suppose if a child says, "I want to be a pilot in future." What these guys do is they dress him up as a pilot, and then they take a picture of that child, and then they put that picture in the bedroom of that child in front of the bed, so that every morning when they wake up, they can look at their own picture in that uniform, and then they can fantasize about their future as that person, and they can work hard towards. So these are very little details, which are not little, they're very big details.
It's giving hope, isn't it? Yeah.
It's giving hope.
Showing them that they can achieve their dreams.
Not just hope, it's making them excited about their future. And that is the biggest gift you could give to a child. So that these are things which I believe need to be encouraged. More and more people need to join this cause. They have 250 plus children. I want that in my lifetime, maybe they could have 25,000 children. And it's a care model that I really hope and pray that many others would also follow, because in other institutions, there are many other institutions in Pakistan who are doing a very good job. They're very sincere. I'm not bashing them. They're very sincere. They're doing a good job. But what is lacking again in those places is that they're only focusing on feeding the child, on educating the child, and completely ignoring the emotional and psychological aspect of it. I've seen other institutions, their settings are very, they're very institutional. The aesthetics are very institutional. It feels like, okay, I'm not home, I'm in an institution. But their place is home. So I really hope that in Pakistan, many other people come forward. they check out what they're doing, and then they try to replicate that. That is what is desperately needed in Pakistan.
Yeah, amazing. Now, when celebrities get involved in a charity, they add a lot of profile to it because there's a lot of attention automatically because of your following and your popularity. And sometimes there's also the concept of, or the understanding that now there's a celebrity, there's a lot of money being given to the star to be an ambassador. But I understand you've come here on your own ticket. You funded all your own expenses, and everything you do for the charity, you pay for yourself.
I don't charge them.
Take anything.
What's the point of doing it if I charge them?
That's very selfless. That's amazing.
That's not selfish. That's not selfless. It's very selfish.
Is it?
Because I'm someone who believes in God. I believe in a day of judgment. There is the intrinsic goodness of this thing. It makes you feel good. It's needed. But my motivation also is to earn some major brownie points from God on the day of judgment. Yeah. So it's a very selfish
thing. So you're filling that bank balance.
Filling that bank balance through them. So in fact, it's me using them for my benefit on the day of judgment.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing. If only everybody thought of it like that.
And the reason they also, I think, what I'm trying to do is that they are a charity, which is, they're a foundation which is very new. You know, you have these foundations who already have a very established support base. People know about them. But since these guys are new and they recently started fundraising because the volume of children has exponentially increased in the past 3 years. Yeah. They had 10, 15 children 3 years ago, and now they have 250 plus children. So now they need that support base. Now they need exposure. So I'm just hoping and praying that by somebody like me who's supporting them, they would get that exposure that they need. And once, the magical thing is, once people hear about what they're doing, then I become irrelevant. Then they're so impressed by what they see, they're like, you know what, we will support you. So my role right now is to just try to take them to as many people as possible so people can get familiar with what they're doing and why it's so needed.
Yeah, so it's to get the exposure, really, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And have you, obviously you've been to the homes, you've met the children. Are there any, I'm sure there'll be plenty, but any child that really stands out in terms of the journey and impact that you've probably followed? Would you be able to share any stories?
Well, recently there was this, very recently, but I think a year ago, because usually they have a policy of only taking children from 3 years to 7 years. Because earlier than 3 years, the child is very difficult to manage. And after 7 years, the subconscious mind has been developed. So they take children round about from 3 to 7 years. So they can mold them accordingly. But recently, they made a few exceptions. And coincidentally, I was there when I think it was the police chief of another city in Punjab who called DIG Saab. And he said, you know, we found some abandoned children. They're infants. One of them was on top of a garbage heap. The other girl, all three were girls. And the other girl was abandoned in front of a mosque. And the other girl was just abandoned in the hospital. And we don't know what to do with them. And he said, because I know you personally, I know that what you're doing is so amazing. And I know you have a rule from 3 to 7 years old, but I don't know who else to call. I don't know who else can give them the kind of future that these little infants deserve, that these little angels deserve. So if you don't make an exception to the 3 to 7 rule, I don't know what to do with them. And then these guys are like, you know what, we can't say no. And Sophia Bhan, especially, she was like, I can't say no. They brought those infants in. They were like this big. And I saw them, like a few days of coming here, I saw them. They had their ribs sticking out. They were malnutritioned. I didn't even think they would survive. So what they did was they didn't have a nursery because they were not used to taking in kids that young. So their daughter, mashallah, Mahanur, amazing person again, she said that we don't need a nursery. They'll live in my room. And, you know, they're my sisters. They'll grow up with me. And then she arranged for their accommodation in her room. And after 3-4 months, they said, you know, the nursery is ready. We worked on something. And their daughter was so attached to them. They're like, okay, fine, you can move them to the nursery, but you'll also have to move my bedroom to the nursery as well. So that's the kind of personalized care that those infants got. And then 6, 7 months, 8 months into it, those infants have now become healthy little babies, and they've started to take their first steps, and now they're proper babies, like how babies should be. And it struck me because their entire life has been changed because this one decision of them taking them in. Same goes for the other 250 plus children. But this was something I witnessed myself, that how they took in those infants and they made them part of the family. Now they live in their home, and they plan to take more of such babies. And it takes a big heart to do this. Even somebody like me, I mean, even if I adopt children, I don't know, to treat them better than your own children is something which I consider inhuman. Inhuman goodness. Or maybe it's actually the human goodness that we should inspire to be. But yeah, that's something very amazing that I've witnessed myself.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, what I find fantastic, obviously being a woman, is firstly, the chairperson of this charity is a woman. And I love that about this charity. And obviously hearing...
Not just a chairperson, she's also the driving force. She is someone who conceived all of this idea. She's someone who literally forced and coerced DIG Saab into it, that you have to do this, because initially he had reservations. He's like, I'm a police officer. God forbid if something wrong happens, you know what, it's very risky. But she was the one who said, we have to do this. So even DIG Saab says, okay, all of this is her thing. I'm just supporting them.
Yeah.
I'm just supporting her. So that's what he says.
That's great. And obviously her daughter is also involved. So there's a lot of nurturing, and I think that tends to come quite strongly when women are involved. Your own life, you've been, had a lot of influence from women in your life, like your mom. She's very, she's very powerful, being a judge, but also having a political career. Your sister as well, having businesses in Dubai as well as in Pakistan in terms of dermatology. So have the women that you've grown up around influenced you to become also this nurturing type of person and this caring? Because for you, like you said about Sophia G, she's got that, her daughter's got that, but you have that too, because otherwise you won't be involved in the charity. So where do you get it from?
Well, you're absolutely right. Having such powerful women in my family, they have made me respect women a lot, because usually men get intimidated by very powerful women. But since I've grown up with such powerful women, and they have loved me and nurtured me so much, that I've grown to not just respect powerful women, but also cherish powerful women, because a powerful woman is always a helping hand to the man. I mean, in a lot of matters in my life, when I've faced ups and downs, I have found comfort in the fact that, I have such a powerful backup, and those are all women. So I believe I've become this man who celebrates strong women, celebrates achiever women, because of the women in my family. And now, mashallah, after my mother and my sister, I have my wife, who's a successful artist. She has her own cosmetic line. So I'm surrounded by very, very successful women. So yeah, that's what it has done to me. I've learned to appreciate strong women, learn to cherish them, and think of them as something which are not a threat to me, but they're actually something which is very helpful in my life.
Yeah.
And as far as this work is concerned, again, I told you, that's entirely God. That's entirely God. I mean, that day when I wake up in front of him on Judgment Day, and that's my personal religious belief. Yeah. I just want to be in a very, very good place in front of him on the Day of Judgment. And that's the main driving force of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
No, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, talking about the influence of women, I think it's really good that you're also supporting the charity, because the chairperson's a female, and then the ambassador being male. And, in the current scenario, misogyny is quite a big topic, not just in Pakistan, but even in this country. We always say it's in the subcontinent, but it's equally where we are today too. So by you being an ambassador of the charity, I suppose you would also play a very powerful role in terms of protecting, to make sure that if, the chairperson, to give that strength actually more than protecting as well. What would you say to that?
It's more like she gives strength to us,
really?
Rather than us giving strength to her.
Yeah.
In a lot of situations, she is the one who is calm and composed, and the thinking one and the compassionate one. Us men, we are very, you could say, we panic easily. But women have that thing that they don't panic easily. They're very thinking brains. So I think it's the other way around. Men are very instinctive. They're very panicky at times. But my experience so far has been within this organization that, the women are the more sorted ones. They're the more composed ones, the calm ones. And not just Sophia Ben, but her daughter Mahnur, who's now the future CEO. She's also working so hard, and she's full of calm, and she's full of compassion, and she's full of she's a thinking brain. It's very seldom that they panic. So I really think it's the other way around. They give people like me strength, Mehboob Bhai strength. Often I've seen Mehboob Bhai being frustrated over some issues, and she's the one who's like, no, it'll be sorted. Don't worry about it. So I really believe that we don't give enough credit to women as far as their abilities are concerned. They're far more stable. They're far more less prone to panicking. I mean, even on a fetal level, we know that the female fetus is far stronger than the male fetus and far less prone to diseases and birth defects than the male fetus. So it's basic biology.
Yeah, that's true. Can't argue with that for sure. No, that's an amazing way to look at it, actually. We're talking about, obviously, the orphans, and we mentioned about their development, their careers. You yourself, film actor, but also director, so you're involved in filmmaking process. Would you ever nurture any of these children to go into those kind of fields? And if so, what advice and encouragement would you give them?
It's completely up to them, because that's one good thing, that they're given the choice. Whatever you want to do, they're shown different careers, they're being educated on different paths in life, and then they're given the freedom to choose what they want to do. Oh, by the way, as far as freedom is concerned, it's also worth mentioning that these guys have also adopted 20 Christian children. And the good thing is that those Christian children, Islam is not being forced on them. Those Christian children are getting worldly education, but also when it comes to religious education, they're getting Christian education from a Christian pastor in Pakistan. That's also worth mentioning as far as the freedom is concerned. So yeah, these children are free to do whatever they want, and if any one of them considers being an actor or a director or a producer, I think the advice I would give, I personally mentor them when it comes to them, because I also now feel a certain level of ownership of these children. So I'll personally mentor that child. And the advice I'd give them is just be honest and hardworking and very persistent, because success comes with persistence. If you are not persistent, then you try a few times. If you don't make it, then you'll probably go somewhere else. But any career, success comes with persistence. That's the key.
Brilliant. So I think my other question was, obviously you're very famous. And you were part of a hugely successful film. You know what I'm going to talk about, Molajat. To the kids, when they see you and they know that you've been part of these huge and one of Pakistan's biggest blockbusters, how do they interact when they see you? How do they meet you?
Oh, you have no idea. They go like, oh, Hamza bhai, wo dialogue आके बताएं. अच्छा, उस फिल्म में आपने ये.
अच्छा, हमें भी बताइए थोड़ा सा.
नहीं, वो फिर उन बच्चों की स्पेशलिटी खत्म हो जाएगी.
अच्छा, oh.
I perform live only for those kids. But
bless them, they're so lucky.
Yeah, they're like so lively and so happy, and they watch all kinds of shows and films, and they're being exposed to all the things that a normal, well-to-do child would be exposed to. And yeah, they follow celebrities. They have their favorite films and dramas. And yeah, many of them have seen my dramas and films. And they're really appreciative. That's why many of them get very happy whenever I go there.
Yeah. Well, you obviously played a negative character, and obviously kids are more inclined to have heroes that they tend to like. But even though it was negative, it was very powerful and obviously very successful as well. So you are technically their hero, irrespective of what kind.
I don't think many of them have seen Molajat because there's a lot of bloodshed in it. So
yes, we are talking about very young children, aren't we? Yeah.
But they've seen a lot of other things, Parwaz-e-Junoon and Manmail and Pyar-e-Afzal and Alif. So they're very appreciative of it, and I really appreciate that they're very appreciative of it.
Oh, that's nice. That's brilliant. So where are you now in terms of your own career? Obviously, you're here at the moment supporting this charity, and I'm sure it's going to be a long-term journey for you with AlMarah Foundation. But where are you now within your own career? Are we going to get to see more of you on screen? Are we going to see you behind this?
I've been very choosy with the kind of work that I've done because I believe in doing the scripts that excite me, that I see are worth doing. So yeah, I'll keep doing TV and films. Probably more TV because not a lot of good films are made in Pakistan. But yeah, one project in a year or two, you'll keep seeing me sometimes on the small screen, sometimes on the big screen.
Because we've invited you here for chai, I'm going to ask you a few quick questions about your chai preferences. So my first question is, obviously chai can be, we're so lucky in the subcontinent. We have so many different types. There's obviously what we have here in the UK, which is the classic English. Then you've got karak chai. And now we have masala chai, pink chai. As a chai connoisseur or a coffee connoisseur, which is your favorite?
I never really understood masala chai. What is it?
Really?
Do they add masala in it?
Yeah, ginger. And now I'm going to get in trouble because I'm not very good at it. I know how to order one. Don't know how to make one. But yeah, it's. I think now you can get, so it's a bit of ginger, a few little herbs and spices, and they have a really nice blend. Sure. And that's, very nice, strong masala. We have to have it a lot in this country because, as you know, the temperatures.
It's very cold.
Yes. So it's perfect for your sinuses.
I think I had masala chai once and it did not even taste like chai. It was like some Johar Joshanda type.
Blew your mind. Yeah, because that can happen. I don't think we're as good. We try. I think we try in this country. We know how to put the kettle on and put a tea.
I prefer simple patti doodh and a little bit of sugar. That's it.
Doodh patti chai.
Yeah, nothing too fancy in it.
Yeah. Oh, you'll be fine then in this country. That's what we do quite often. What about for breakfast? Paratha or toast kind of person?
Oh, these days I have to control my weight, so it's just eggs, protein, not a lot of carbs, not a lot of oil.
Yeah.
That's one bad thing about coming in front of the camera for me personally, that I have to constantly keep a check on my weight, and I don't like that. I love
eating.
Are you a foodie? Yes, I'm a foodie. I love eating. I have a sweet tooth, but I have to keep a check, and that's something that is the downside of coming in front of the camera.
Well, having said about sweet tooth, which side would you be then? Would you be more a jalebi, gulab jamun side, or would you be more a chocolate cake side?
Chocolate cake side.
Yeah, a man after my heart. Chocolate cake. That's exactly me as well. And I think my final question was, if you could have chai with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be with and why?
Anyone from history.
Yes. Or present.
Anyone.
Yeah, I'm hoping you'd say me, but it's all right.
Oh,
it's all right. You can say somebody else. It's okay.
If one person, definitely the Prophet.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that'd be
an amazing. Oh, gosh.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
So you're very in touch with your spiritual side now, aren't you, in terms of faith?
I don't know if to call it a spiritual side. For me, it's more of a rational discovery.
Yeah.
It's an intellectual and rational discovery. And you want to call it spiritual, you want to call it religious, but yeah, it's more of something that I found to be true as far as the bigger questions of life are concerned. Yeah. So yeah, these are the answers I agree with, and they happen to be from a certain religious ideology, which is called Islam. Yeah. So for me, it's rather the answers to my question.
And your book, I'm going to hopefully get a copy.
Yes.
But I'm just reading about your book.
And please, you could put this in if you want my book. It's available on ghamidi.org/Hamza. It's available in both Urdu and English. Amazing. And it's a book I wrote as a layman Muslim about all the answers that I personally found to be very satisfying as far as the question of God and Day of Judgment is concerned.
And how long did that take for you to do? Because that journey, that self-exploration. I mean, we're still on the journey, I suppose.
Yes.
But
I'm still on the journey because still I'm alive. One keeps learning.
Yes.
And one has to be always open to the fact that I can be wrong. So you have to be open to the opposing ideologies, and you have to listen to them with an open mind. But as far as the book is concerned, I planned 3 months, but it took 3 years. To write, yeah, and it's writing a book is something I don't want to do again. It's
especially penning your personal thoughts and your personal, your personal experiences of faith as well. It's incredible.
Absolutely, it's a very difficult thing. Yeah. First and last time, not writing again.
I'm sure. I hope we do get a second time, but I'm definitely going to get a copy of that. But Hamza Ali Abbasi, what a pleasure it's been having you here on our yellow sofa.
My pleasure.
Talking about the amazing AlMarah Foundation and your incredible book. Guys, make sure you follow the links. We've got them down below. But please support the charity and please make sure you buy a book. But once again, thank you, and we wish you all the best on your journey.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Likewise.